Get your products today. Lasani, Porade, and Minute Maid. Yeah, proud sponsors of the NBA on Sportsmax. Speaking of which, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant teamed up for a 54-point haul as they led Brooklyn Nets past the Washington Wizards 112-110 inside the Capital One Arena on Monday night. Here's a recap of what happened.
11-0 run, the last minute 27.
Well, they're coming to 8 straight. I mean, he is on a tear.
Excellent drive there by Porzingis again. Look at the amount of bodies around him, and he still scores. Kristaps' three is off the mark. Offensive rebound by Irving. Here's Durant in the paint, scores. Durant steps into another three. He's hit back-to-back threes.
That's our stepping up scoring. Besides,
blocked there by Porzingis.
Look at God, it was a trophy of Mickey Mouse.
Turnover Washington. Here's Kyrie Irving again in this dribble bag, and he gets the bucket on Devon Dotson.
And right here, you cannot be discouraged. You know he is a tough shot taker and a tough shot maker. And that's twice now.
Here's Irving, bounce pass. Back to Irving. Kyrie show and go left hand lay-in. Kyrie Irving
making that last jump shot.
So Avdia once again trying to guard Durant. Durant's fadeaway is good.
Porzingis run to the rim. Great things can happen.
Kevin Durant gets the bucket. He'll go to the line. Tough pass there by Barton. That's a lob from Irving to Ben Simmons, and Unseld Jr. put the ball in the hoop. Here's Kuzma's deep three. Ranging out and hitting one. Martin with a tough one. Good. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Kevin Durant.
Now after the game, Nets forward Kevin Durant, who tallied the game high 30 points, explained what has caused the team to click in the last few games.
Favorable schedule, being at home for 7 of those, and being able to wake up in our own beds and have our own routine at home definitely matters. We also faced a couple teams that missed some guys as well, but for the most part, I like the brand of basketball we played on both ends of the floor. Regardless of who was on the court, we still played our system, and we did the things that we wanted to do out there on both ends. So, yeah, I mean, being at home counts. Having everybody back as well, healthy, counts. So we just want to keep plugging away.
Joining us now is our NBA correspondent, Alister Albert. Albert, Alister, I have to give it to Kevin Durant. He's usually quite honest during his press conferences. And I don't know if he's just trying to temper down the expectations, but what do you make of his assessment?
I'm glad you noticed that as well, because I'm saying, boy, this boy is modest, isn't he? He's really trying to keep it at team level, where he's trying to say, yeah, you know, we've been at home, you know, we've got home cooking and all that sort of stuff. Now, yes. Katie, it's all about you. And I think a credit to him, it really shows the steadying force that he has been for this team, despite all the turmoil that has kind of happened from the offseason into now. Katie, of course, is averaging, what is it, 28 points, 7 rebounds plus a game this season. No, he's averaging 30 points. Sorry, that's I'm quoting another stat there. I'll come to in a little bit. He's averaging over 30 points per game already. And, during that time whilst Kyrie was out, the 8 games, they went 5-3. When Kyrie left, they were 2-6. They started really shaky, and then, he started to right the ship. He started to galvanize his team. Of course, they let go of Steve Nash, who had a little bit of a flaky offensive system and, really didn't hold guys accountable. Jacques Vaughn came in and really started to put guys in their spots and try to get them to believe in themselves as a team. And, they started to just click. And Kevin Durant has a lot to do with that. He's one of the most efficient scorers in the NBA, in history. And, he's just kind of just willing his team. And Kyrie's come back. And, of course, that always helps, having a guy who has offensive talent like Kyrie Irving. So In terms of being home cooking, guys being healthy and all of that helps. But I think Kevin Durant has been a steady force throughout and who's been constant that has allowed them to get to this point right now.
It's interesting to try and analyze what kind of leader KD is, because I'm getting the impression that with the politics, he's not that good of a leader in terms of trying to bring the team together. But when it's just basketball, he knows his stuff. He knows who should be on the field. He knows the type of plays that he'd want to play through with his teammates. Now that it's just about basketball and the hullabaloo surrounding Kyrie Irving has kind of just died down, at least for the moment, do you think that he will excel in his leadership role?
Definitely. Once they could keep the drama at a minimum, Kevin Durant will be in his element. He just wants to play ball. And I think any news outlet, sports outlet who has spoken about Kevin Durant from the time he's been in Texas to now, it's always been, he just wants to play. He just wants to hoop. He just wants to get the ball in the basket, be on the court with the guys, and just kind of, lead by example that way. He's not going to be the vocal leader. I think we saw really good examples of that during all of this difficulty that the Nets have gone through, where, he kind of been really passive aggressive and not really speaking. Times where you think he would kind of speak up in the locker room, maybe, to guys like Kyrie and everyone, and trying to hold guys accountable. He maybe didn't do that very much. He's not that guy. Kevin Durant is the guy who comes onto the court and you just follow his lead because he plays, 100%, full steam ahead, at practice and of course in game situations. And, with that sort of play and being able to, just do the things that he does on the court, with the otherworldly skill that he has, he just brings his team along with him. And I think it kind of rubs off, his ability to shoot creates so much attention. He allows, the openings for guys like Royce O'Neal, Seth Curry, who's a remarkable shooter, Ben Simmons, of course, who is trying to get back into some sort of form. Having a guy like Kevin Durant on his team, it works wonders for him because it kind of gives him open layups and dunks and that sort of thing, and he could facilitate to guys like that. So yeah, he doesn't need to be a vocal leader, but just being there, being aggressive as he does so much for the team.
Kyrie Irving, after losing his shoe deal, said that he felt free. Seems as if he's playing free at the moment. What are your thoughts on him? Because trust me, when he's unsung, he's probably the best player in the NBA.
Most talented, most skillful player probably we'll ever see, especially in this generation. One of the things I'm really, half and half against with Kyrie, because one time, you look at what he does in the corner, and he's just a maestro. He did one move in the game where he switched hands and laid the ball up with his left, and Kevin Durant got off the bench, just elated with the move that he did. Everyone is just astounded by what Kyrie could do. He's a box office guy. He brings people for the turnstiles. But don't leave Kyrie to be your leader on the court or off the court at all, because he tends to just suck a lot of drama to him, one, and suck a lot of ball possessions to him as well. That kind of leaves guys in the lurches and a bit quiet and not allowing them to get into a rhythm. So I think he's really good playing with someone like Kyrie and people like LeBron, who could kind of orchestrate how the game flows around them, and he then picks his spots and shoots and gets to the basket like he does. So yeah, having him on the team is awesome, and but having the team healthy with him there is even more important.
Now, of course, in the Western Conference, the Pelicans lead the table, having put on a run of 9-1 in their last 10 games, obviously. This recent success is largely down to the brilliant performances from starman Zion Williamson, who has registered 25 points per game. How influential has Zion been for the Pelicans this season, you feel? Do you think he has finally come of age?
Yeah, he is, and he's coming of age really, really quick. I think everyone who saw the Pelicans in the playoffs last year were really salivating at what this team could be when Zion returned and became healthy. And we're seeing the fruits of that right now. They're first in the West. They had 2 statement games against the Phoenix Suns, who are one of the top teams in the West the last two years, and kind of really showed them that, we have your number, and you better be really, really afraid of us come this year, because you put us out last year, but, this year is a totally different year, and we're ready for you. And that's all because they have someone in Zion Williamson who the Suns didn't face last year. And, he's just a force. This guy, we see shades of old Sean Kemp, someone you can't stop going to the rim, dunking on guys, and, if you try to stop him, you just bounce off of him. He's just Teflon. He's a wall. And, it's great to see him back and healthy. The last 2 games against the Suns, just using that as an example, playing against another elite team, He's put up 70 points in those 2 games on 70% shooting. They can't stop him. And the Suns are like one of the best defensive teams in the league. So that's to show you how impactful that, they've been. But also, it's not just Zion. The team as well is playing really good defensively. They're 3rd in defensive rating. Coach Willie Green is really making this a thing to try to say that it's a team-focused defense that's doing really well. It's not just individuals, but, it's great to have someone like Zion in your back pocket that you can just utilize and just go destroy your opponents with.
Are they playing the perfect team game at the moment, you think, the Pelicans?
No, because let's remember as well, they've had quite a lot of injuries, so there's still a little rhythm that they need to get. CJ McCollum has been out a little bit. Brandon Ingram is still injured and hasn't returned to the court as yet. And Zion is just kind of picking up the load. But what's been really good about that, the other role players are starting to step up. Larry Nance, Jose Alvarado from Puerto Rico, who's been like a pest defensively. Trey Murphy, Herbert Jones, all these role players are coming together and playing some really important minutes and getting some really good reps, which are solidifying their team even more. And then when you get guys like Brandon Ingram coming back in, that just makes the team even better. So I think they still have a little more improvement to do, which is scary because they're already first in the West and and showing what they're made of. So they could even get even better, which is really scary for the rest of the league.
Alister, always a pleasure speaking basketball with you. We'll catch up once again in the near future.
Thanks, Donald. See you soon.
All right, take another break. Back with more on The Zone after this.